this is what most people type into Claude when they want a profitable strategy. And this is what they get back. Claude's trying to do a good job. It gives me an EMA pullback strategy. I didn't tell it to do any of that. I just said make a profitable strategy. So it's got a trend filter, an EMA alignment, RSI pullback, RSI recovery, volume confirmation. When all 5 conditions are met from the strategy, entry fires on bar close. We have a stop loss at entry minus 1.5 ATR, take profits at entry plus 3 ATR, and a risk reward profile of risking 1 to make 2 on every trade. It even gives you some more settings here. Here it is on the daily time frame for SPY, 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame. The lower the time frame, it just gets worse and worse. Here it is on QQQ. It's actually even worse. Now, it's not wrong and it tried its best, and you can even potentially start here from scratch, but we're just not giving it enough. Now, here's an example of a better prompt we can use. And here's what happens with no edits on QQQ. All of a sudden, we now have a profitable strategy. Checking SPY, not as good as QQQ, but better. And for the asset that we truly designed the strategy behind, substantially better with a pretty solid up and to the right curve that we can work with. It's the same AI, different prompt, and you're going to get substantially different results. The number one mistake that I see people make when they're using Claude to build out trading strategies is they are using it like a search engine. You just simply type in what you want and you expect it to have the answers no matter what. When it comes to trading, Claude does not work that way. It's not going to fill in the gaps of what to do with good assumptions. It's going to fill them in with just average assumptions. It doesn't know what you want, so it's going to go and just give you a general answer and a general output. General answers, general outputs are going to build general strategies that are not going to beat the buy and hold, and they're definitely not going to last long term, and they're not going to provide you an edge. So in this video, I'm going to show you a very simple framework to use when building your next trading strategy and prompting Claude to help you do so. 4 things that must be in your prompt before Claude ever writes a line of code. And then I'll show you how you can conversationally go back and forth with Claude to improve the strategy that you already have and get better results over time. So if you've watched some of our recent videos in the series, like the building a strategy with Claude, the backtesting videos, this is the video that's going to help make things work a lot better from the start. So first, why does Claude need specificity? Think of Claude as more of like a junior quant. It's not a mind reader. It's going to just execute and build what you give it. It has no idea what markets you trade. It has no idea what you're looking for, day trading, swing trading, what your risk tolerance is. Things like time frames, your past experiences, whether you want something that's trend following or mean reverting. And when you leave Claude to fill in those gaps by itself, it's going to default to giving you common and average answers, which is why everyone seems to get some sort of moving average, exponential moving average, or RSI based strategy when they prompt Claude the way that I did at the beginning of the video. The quality of your output is going to be a direct reflection of the quality of your input. The way I like to think about it is you're the strategist, you're the one that's got the ideas, you have all these thoughts in your head, and if you have experience trading, you probably have so many things in your head like, man, what if I try this? What if I try that? That you can now bring to life by writing it or even just talking into the prompt. And Claude is the coder that's going to take all of what you're saying and transform that into code that would take you hours, days, weeks, or even months. Okay, so before we write any code, there are 4 things we need to have under control. Number 1 is the time frame. Are we swing trading here? Day trading, 5-minute charts, 1-day charts. You need to give Claude something to work with. If you just give it something very general, well, you're going to have varying outputs on different time frames, and it's going to be able to cater that strategy to a time frame that might make more sense. So if you tell Claude you're looking at a 5-minute time frame for your trades, well, that's going to cater to more of a day trading setup. And if you say you're looking at more daily time frames, well, it's going to cater to a swing trading setup. And generally speaking, there's a lot of well-known and easy to find data that Claude can use when building out a framework with that in mind. Number 2 is going to be the instrument. Are we looking at crypto? Are we looking at Bitcoin? Are we looking at ETH? Are we looking at stocks? Do we want this to be kind of broad-based where we can then test it on a bunch of stocks or test it on a bunch of cryptos? Is it for futures? All of this matters because all of these markets and all of these assets are going to trade differently. Things like spread and slippage might matter more over here when you're trading, let's say, crypto or futures, whereas maybe on SPY or a very popular stock, it might not matter as much. Number 3 is the entry logic. We need to direct it in some way. Like, we can't just say, build me a strategy. I want it on the 5-minute time frame. I want it for Bitcoin, and have fun. No, what are we trying to do here? This is where you can use all of your past experiences and bring it to life. You might be looking for a trend following strategy. You might be looking for a breakout strategy. You might be looking for a breakdown strategy, a return to mean strategy. All the different things you've learned, you've heard about, you want to test, you can now test and bring it to life. You don't even need to know the exact indicators or the exact parameters, but giving it a very solid foundation of a general gist of what you're trying to do. Like, for example, Claude, I am trying to build a breakout strategy when a stock breaks a horizontal resistance point after it touches it 3 or 4 times within a 1% range of that resistance point. When it breaks out to the upside, I want you to go long. Okay, great. Now you gave it something and it's going to build the best strategy it can based off the best logic it can create with what you've given it. And number 4, risk parameters. We need to have risk parameters in check. How are you stopping out? How are you taking your profits? Are you looking for a 1-to-2 risk reward? Are you looking for a 2-to-1? Are you looking for a 1-to-1? Is it going to be ATR based? Is it just a percentage based? How are you sizing your positions? What's your max risk per trade? If you don't define those things, Claude's going to make it up and then you can edit it later on, but defining it initially will give you a much better starting point. I tend to lean more broad initially and then dial it in over time. So here's the example that I just used. So I said I want to build a swing trading strategy for Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart in TradingView PineScript v5. Generally speaking, you can just say TradingView or in PineScript and that's enough, but more details aren't going to hurt. Then I described the idea. Okay, so the idea of the strategy is enter long when price pulls back to a rising 21 EMA after a momentum push above the 50 EMA. A bit more complex, but we gave it some parameters. I only want to trade in the direction of the trend, no short trades. This is a long only trend following strategy. Here are the entry conditions, and then I lay out those conditions. Now, when I back test this on the 4-hour time frame since 2014, it is up 469% with an 18% max drawdown. Now, obviously we could say, well, the buy and hold on Bitcoin would have done better. And yes, it did. I'm not discounting the fact that it did. I totally get that. But the point is, now we have a workable strategy that has really good returns and pretty low drawdown. So we've got a really solid starting point to work with here. That's way better than breaking even and way better than something that's losing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Claude to my advantage here. I'm going to screenshot what I just got on the backtest, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to put that into the chat. And I'm going to tell Claude, I said, here's the backtest since 2014. I'm wondering if we can improve the win rate slightly. While it's profitable, it doesn't come near the buy and hold. And ideally, I would like the drawdown under 25%. Now, as you get better at looking at these backtests, you'll be able to find things like time periods and say, okay, well, the strategy seems flat from looks like 2017 or 2018 to 2021. How can we improve that time period? And now we can start to make slight adjustments to the code and to the strategy that hopefully will improve it. So now I send that back and it's going to think about ways to optimize the strategy. It's funny, I took the words in my mouth because I sent in the equity curve. It shows those long flat stretches. So now it's going to see if it can fix by filtering out low quality environments and tweaking that stop loss and take profit math. And now we have an upgraded version of the strategy. It'll give you some details as to what changed and why. I'd highly recommend you dive deep into all of these and think about the logic behind them. Does that make sense? And then go back to the strategy, copy it, paste over what we had, refresh it, and let's see if we can beat, oh, we got an error. If you ever get an error, just copy the error code, send it back to Claude. It'll fix the error and then give you the new code. Compiling, we now have a back test and it performed worse. Now the profitable trades did improve by a couple percent. The profit factor, I think, bumped up by a few, and the total trades got dramatically lowered and the drawdown also went down. So while the strategy returns less, in this case, the drawdown came down, so it has less volatility, less trades, more profitable trades, and a better profit factor. So kind of like a better bang for your buck per trade. But if you're automating your trades, then that doesn't really matter because you don't really care. You don't have to be there anyway. And so you want something that's going to make you the most money in the shortest amount of time, ideally. But now you go back to Claude and you pretty much are going to rinse and repeat. Now, obviously, this is an oversimplification. This just improved that. So now we have a better number here in terms of P&L, a lower drawdown, 187 trades, okay, profitable trades around the same, but even better profit factor. So our profit factor is improving, but our total P&L percentage is not. And to be honest with you, I haven't even gotten into the settings. When I dive into the strategy, I go into the settings, I now have so much to customize in terms of properties, how I'm calculating the trades, what my inputs are, so I can change the moving average lengths, I can change the ATR lengths, I can use different filters, turn things off, turn things on, and then go back and forth and tell Claude, okay, I turn this off, I turn this on, I change this to this, did this, did this, did this. Here's what happened. It's now a game of trial and error, but you're removing a lot of those steps from the beginning when you literally don't give it anything solid to work with to start. Now we've given it something really good to start with, and we've got something that's profitable. We just want to improve that over time and ultimately dial into something that's A, profitable, B, fits our style of trading, and C, can ultimately be replicated. That's the game. Now, while this is great and all, just because we have a backtest does not mean this is a profitable strategy. If we were to take this backtest and we were to forward test it, which is what we do on a site like AlphaInsider, all these strategies are forward tested, you get to see how it actually trades when it's trading live, not just how it would have traded with historical data. Here's an example of a bunch of strategies that I have brought in from TradingView and I'm now tracking on my portfolio. Some not doing great, some doing pretty good. What I'm then able to do is create customized trading bots where I can automate and auto trade these different trading strategies. And so I'm not going to miss trades. I'm not going to miss when these trades fire. I'm going to get nearly the exact same entry, nearly the exact same exit, and I'm not going to have to worry about going and checking my phone or being at my computer all the time to make sure I capture the trades just to have a shot at a profitable strategy, because the backtest might be solid and it might work in the future. Hope that was helpful. If you want to learn more about trading automation, make sure you are subscribed here to the channel on AlphaInsider. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Peace.